Hey, what's up? How's it going? So originally for Antisocial Commentary number 21, episode number 21, we're doing Collateral, directed by Michael Mann in 2004. But originally, I had a bunch of notes written down, and then everything crashed. And then I decided to write a couple of notes down by hand, but ultimately, I lost a lot of notes when things crashed. But we're going to do the best we can today, and we're just going to have a little bit of fun here watching this awesome Michael Mann movie, Collateral. I have the DVD here somewhere, wherever it is. Here it is. So this is what we're watching today, this version, the DVD version, and we're going to push play in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, the timer is relatively in sync. So here we go. And of course, I got some notes after it crashed here. So let's dive right into a couple of these. First of all, I'm just going to turn on the subtitles. Now, here we go. Collateral 2004, released August 6, 2004. Now those sunglasses there, I got it written down somewhere. I accidentally got the director's commentary audio on. So I'm going to switch it off. Which, by the way, I don't do this movie justice. Watch the commentary with Michael Mann if you got the DVD. It's totally worth the watch. Love it. That gentleman right there is Mr. Jason Statham. I know that by heart, but I have it written down here somewhere. I was going to mention a couple of movies that I liked of his. Oh, yeah, Ghosts of Mars. I really love that role by Jason Statham. To me, that's my introduction to Jason Statham. He just has a cameo in here, but it's a really good cameo. In the movie Spy, he was hilarious. Like, Jason Statham's part is over, but in the movie Spy, it was so fucking good when he's like, "You pair of fucking vaginas." So good. So, Beekeeper and War with Jet Li, so good. Statham is a legend. So to see Statham make an appearance on this movie, pretty fucking cool, I think, for sure. So we have our hero right there, Mr. Max, played by Mr. Jamie Foxx. Just before watching this, my stand-up comedy special of the day is actually Jamie Foxx's What Had Happened Was. I don't want to give anything away from there, but Jamie Foxx had a stroke April 11th, 2023. And in that stand-up comedy special, he tells you what happened. So go watch that. It's very emotional. If you feel like having a couple of laughs and like tearing up a bit at the same time, great fucking special. Jamie Foxx, total class act. I have a picture of him somewhere. I apologize that Dan and Bobby here are going to join us for the film here, but originally I did have a couple of oh wait, that right there is Debbie Mazar. Fucking love Debbie Mazar. Like another good cameo in this movie. Like my favorite Debbie Mazar roles, Goodfellas, and in the movie or in the show Friends, she plays the bastard lady. Just calls everybody bastard in the episode where Rachel gives birth. It's one of my favorite episodes of Friends, and Debbie does such a perfect, hilarious cameo in that. But here we go. That cab that Max is driving, throughout the film, they use like 17 different versions of that cab, which I thought was pretty cool. No, that's Max DeRocher. You see his name on his driver's license there, but he was originally like the people that were originally going to possibly play Max. They had Adam Sandler, which would have been pretty cool. Like anything with Sandler is cool, right? Like they make that joke in South Park where it's like starring Adam Sandler with Osimo, when Osimo was like picking movies, like he's a movie making bot and Adam Sandler's in every movie. Right? Like originally like Max was going to either be Adam Sandler or Cuba Gooding Jr. They elected not to use Cuba Gooding Jr. because Tom Cruise and him worked together on the very amazing Cameron Crowe film. The fuck was it called there? Jerry Maguire. So good. And then they were going to give it to De Niro and Ice Cube. Ice Cube would have been pretty cool, I think. But yeah. And now we have the introduction of Mrs. Tupac over there. I mean Mrs. Jada Pinkett Smith over there. Used to be with Tupac though, back in the day there, which was really fucking cool, I thought. Let's see, she was in The Matrix as Niobe. Originally, Niobe was supposed to be Aaliyah, which rest in peace, Aaliyah. I love Aaliyah. Aaliyah was so fucking good in Romeo Must Die with Jet Li. So good. I like the little back and forth between Jada and Jamie here, because it shows his professionalism, and at the same time it shows how she's not used to really being wrong. So there's something humbling towards, Jada Pinkett Smith's character. Speaking of Jada Pinkett Smith here, let's see, I had a dumb conspiracy theory. I'm just going to share it quickly, but basically the conspiracy theory was that Will Smith was jealous over Tupac, so he ordered the hit on Tupac. Which is totally not true. Totally not true, but it's still a fun conspiracy theory because, Jada and Tupac dated before Tupac, rest in peace, And my favorite Tupac song, Can't See Me, like one of the best Tupac songs of all time, man, of all time. So good. And yeah, man, Tupac, so cool. But yeah, another Jada Pinkett Smith movie that I absolutely love. There are two Jada Pinkett Smith movies that I just love so fucking much. Set It Off with like Queen Latifah and I can't remember who else, but like they're big star names now. But in Set It Off, like they're like stuck in the hood, trying to get out of the hood, stuff like that. It's so fucking good. It's such an old school hood crime drama. And like Jada Pinkett Smith is so fucking good in Set It Off. And I'm like I love Max's denial there. How this job is just part time. It's not what I'm going to do with my life. A lot of us have that keep showing up at work every day. But Jada Pinkett Smith though, in Set It Off, she's so brilliant. And I was about to say that even though like she gets a bad reputation with that whole Chris Rock, Will Smith slap and all that stuff there, like and even though whatever, she cheated on Will Smith, whatever, none of my business. But I will point this out, like for artists are fucking weird. And she's an artist. She's an artist. Well, I mean, if she has some flaws, if she has something weird about her, that's typically going to be why. So, in Jada Pinkett's defense, she is a talented artist and a talented actress. That's all I'll say about that. And Scream 2, like after after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this is Jada Pinkett's best role." I won't tell you why, but everybody was cheering for Scream 2, Jada Pinkett. But my favorite movie by Jada Pinkett Smith, like with Set It Off there, is definitely Demon Knight. Demon Knight with starring Billy Zane and William Sadler is like a flawless, comical, dark comedy of a horror. So good, so good. But yeah, that is Annie Farrell on our number 5 on our kill list of Vincent's hit list. Yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith, dude. Set It Off. Demon Knight. And Collateral. Just fucking perfect movies. Now, there's something that Michael Mann pointed out. Like, I watched the director's commentary. I'm gonna try not to step all over his notes. Watch the commentary if you got the DVD. But I do love how he points out that this scene is like something that people do, which is like they open up to their cab drivers because we may never see them again, kind of thing. And I love that little social commentary about how people will sometimes offload on a stranger. The way that Max is like talking up the vacation and like being positive. In the special, what had happened was Jamie Foxx is very, very uplifting, I find. Such a good special, by the way. So check it out if you haven't seen it. What had happened was it's on Netflix. Go ahead and check it out on Netflix as soon as possible here. So some fun things with Max here. Let's see. He trained, Jamie Foxx trained for this role by driving a cab. That's pretty cool, right? And by racing cars in the Mojave Desert. In fact, apparently Michael Mann came and joined him for a couple of races in the Mojave Desert. Some cool stuff like that is what I read about. I think that's pretty fucking awesome. Michael Mann is one of the coolest directors of all time, man. Huh. Yeah, man. And this film was one of the first to be shot on the Thompson Viper Film Stream HD cam, which I thought was pretty cool. Michael Mann said that if you're using film, it would be difficult to see what's going on in the background, kind of thing. And I see what he means, right? Like when you hold a digital camera, why does it look different than film? There's a big couple of reasons why. Perspective, lenses, everything like that. The type of recording it is. There's a huge difference between analog film and digital video. And Michael Mann has said somewhere along lines, I'm paraphrasing here, that this film is about making a movie on digital film. It's not about making this movie look like film, if that makes sense. It's about making this movie look like it's supposed to be made on digital film. Like, instead of trying to emulate real film, there's something raw and gritty about that. Like I'm not saying that a couple of buddies and I could get together and shoot a movie using the good old Thompson Viper Filmstream HD cam, but at the same time, I am. Now I love that butterfly effect. Because if Max just kept his mouth shut there, none of this would have happened to him, right? The choices we make in our day-to-day life. Now, like a scene like this, it's just the classical kind of vibe that Michael Mann does. Does the same thing in Heat. Speaking of Michael Mann movies, we have Heat 1 and 2, Ferrari, Public Enemies, Miami Vice the movie, as well as he had creative control in a couple of seasons of Miami Vice. Excuse me. And he worked together with Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith in Ollie, and also Jamie Foxx was in Ollie as well. But yeah, right here. The writer, Stuart Beattie, he came up with this idea in Sydney, Australia, when he was, at least I think it was Australia there, Sydney, Australia. It was coming from the Sydney airport, heading home in a cab. And that story that Tom Cruise just told, that kind of like came to him while he was in the cab. And I like how he starts picking apart Max's character. Like Vincent is kind of like interrogating him a little bit. And he kind of patronizes Max right there. And some would say that's something of a test. Is this the right cab driver for me tonight as I do my evil that evil men do? Now, this movie had a $65 million budget, and so far we are at $220 million. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that stuff that Tom Cruise is holding, showing Jamie Foxx. If you're watching this in 2050, we used to have this thing called money. And he's giving him $300, which is $300 bills. I'm just joking, but yeah. But no, yeah, this movie made a really good profit in the worldwide rankings. They're like, this is actually Michael Mann's highest grossing film so far. I mean, until he makes Heat 2, everybody's going to go to Heat 2 is my guess. But yeah, this has been like Michael Mann's highest grossing. And I really did like Manhunter, because Manhunter was actually on like if I'm not mistaken, the first real Hannibal. I was going to say Hannibal Buress, Hannibal Lecter type film, right? Based on, man, I can't think of his name right now. As if I can't think of his name. I have the book right over there. And I know, Thomas Harris, right? Yeah. Manhunter was a pretty good film with William Peterson from CSI there and all that. Yeah. And what else we got? in 2004, this movie had some competition like iRobot. I loved iRobot. Will Smith was great in iRobot. Napoleon Dynamite and The Village. It was like around the same year as like Dodgeball and Anchorman and Open Water, The Bourne Supremacy, Little Black Book. So hell yeah. Now, I have been a cab driver before. And Michael Mann has also been a cab driver before. And if you've ever been a cab driver before, this whole thing where an assassin gets in the back and wants to go on a hit streak with you, like, it happens all the time. No, I'm just joking, but yeah, there we go. We have our first kill there on the kill list of Vincent's hit list tonight. Goodbye, Ramon. Hasta la vista, baby. Now that part where he like looked around, just a pro trying to see if anybody noticed. But yeah, there's so many there's so many good things that like Tom Cruise did to prepare for this role here. Oh, this is his movie list. But yeah, Tom Cruise actually trained with the LAPD and Mick Gould and Andy McNabb, just so that he can operate a weapon like that really efficiently. And considering the type of movies that Michael Mann makes, Michael Mann also has professional training in handling weapons, just so that he'll know how to better direct people like, like his actors like Tom Cruise or Val Kilmer in Heat, stuff like that. And speaking of Heat, that outfit that Tom Cruise is wearing with the hair gray like that is a nice little homage to Robert De Niro's character in the movie Heat, which is really cool. Speaking of homages, the assassin getting in the cab is supposed to be a subtle homage to the Anthony Horowitz novel Russian Roulette. But yeah, still pretty fucking cool, man. Let's see what else about Michael Mann can I tell you there. He was born February 5th, 1943, Chicago, Illinois. I've been there. Fucking love Chicago, Illinois. I met a clown just a little bit near Chicago by Peoria. His name was Divot the Clown, and he was a golfing clown, which is awesome, right? Like, that's an awesome name for a clown, Divot the Clown. One of the best memories I have playing golf. That's it for this page. Now right there, we have one of our supporting antagonists. If I can find any of my notes that I'm looking for here. One of our supporting antagonists there, that's Mark Ruffalo. There we go. And originally Mark Ruffalo, who the hell was going to play him again? I'm trying to remember. Originally Mark Ruffalo, they had Val Kilmer. That's right. That's who it was from here. They had Val Kilmer, who was going to play the role of the Detective Fanning here, right? Detective Fanning. And Mark Ruffalo's career, like, obviously, like, one of the coolest careers ever. Like recently, like 2026 news. Recently, he got let go from Disney, but even if he got let go of Disney for having an opinion about the president or whatever, like I feel like Mark Ruffalo is gonna be okay, you know. And and to capture the subtle nuances of being an undercover LAPD dude. I think that's the official term. But he trained with a couple of narcs with the LAPD just to capture that realistic detective fanning that Mark Ruffalo brings to the stage here. I'll refer back to that one a little bit later. Now, ever since learning that Adam Sandler could have possibly played the role of Max, ever since learning that, I keep picturing serious Sandler doing that, you know? It would be fun. It would be really fun. But Jamie Foxx is awesome. Jamie Foxx is so awesome. A couple cool things about Jamie Foxx. Let's see if I got any. Oh yeah, Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx became pretty good friends while filming this. So much that Tom Cruise bought a pinata and filled it up with sour Skittles and got Jamie Foxx to smash it up, and he gave him a bunch of Skittles for his birthday, which is awesome. Now that's that psychology that Vincent denies his murder and just kind of like a sociopath kind of like shoves it out of his brain. You know, the bullets in the fall killed him. Like that shit's pretty terrifying. And the way he compares the numbers of Rwanda, like Hotel Rwanda starring Don Cheadle, so fucking good. That's such a good movie. It's about the genocide in Rwanda. It was so sad, so sad. But the way that Cruz's character brings up numbers, you know, just to take away the humanity of the person he killed, it shows immediately his psychological damage. In fact, speaking of the psychological damage of Vincent and Max, director Michael Mann and writer Stuart Beattie kind of gave them like a quick biography of where they came from so that they know why they're damaged while they're playing the characters, which I thought was very smart. Now, these two police cops, that gentleman there, that is Richard T. Jones, and he's in the show The Rookie, which is pretty cool. And then that gentleman there is Jamie McBride, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he's one of the characters who like used to actually be a cop or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So I love that stressed out look that Richard T. Jones gives, because he just reads Max as full of himself immediately. That's so badass. The assassin threatening the cab driver in front of the cops like that, just silently enough that only Max can hear it. Everything about Vincent, though, is supposed to be almost forgettable, mixed with like some invisibility training that Tom Cruise was trying to do for the movie. He actually became a FedEx delivery driver to become. This is going to sound sad if you're a FedEx delivery driver, but to become invisible and train to become invisible, to train to become invisible, Tom Cruise went around making FedEx deliveries. And that is so sad. If I were a FedEx delivery driver, I think I might cry. Just because, think about it, like, I'm Tom Cruise, man, and I'm training to be invisible, and who's a real nobody? FedEx drivers, oh man. But I don't think that was his intent. But it was. There is video of Tom Cruise online delivering packages as a FedEx driver. I like that little scene there where the plane is in the background and everything. Now I cannot remember the name of the guy playing Lenny, but he's like an assistant director or something of Michael Mann's, and Michael Mann said that his voice was just annoying enough that it suited Lenny perfectly. That's one of the worst feelings when your boss is like I've had this in the past, not now, but when I was a taxi driver, there was some times where they would be like, gonna try take it out of your check or whatever. It's just no, it's not my liability thing. All that stuff. That stuff is frustrating when a boss wants to mistreat you like that. But luckily I got a good one now. And yeah, that's all I'll say about that. I don't want to say anything more. And you see a glimpse of Vincent's twisted humanity, where he almost almost feels sorry for Max by that part where Vincent gets Max to stick up for himself against his boss. Good writers like Stuart Beattie, they have this ability to write characters in such a way where it seems like some traits of an antagonist a protagonist needs, and then some traits that a protagonist either has or doesn't have, they can either get that from the antagonist kind of thing, like that cause and effect, that yin and yang between protagonist and antagonist. That is well written in this movie. Excuse me. I just had some pizza for supper, so I apologize. But here we have the second guy on our list here. Sylvester Clarke is the character's name. Oh, snap. I could totally see Sandler or Ice Cube playing this role. It would almost be too funny if it was Adam Sandler doing it, though. But Jamie Foxx was also a comedian before. It's just the way it goes. But this dude here, I don't know if I got the names right here, but that guy is really good at playing a piece of shit. You know, like he's really good that I had to try to search his name. It's either Coriel St. Fleur or Dwayne Whitaker. I'm not too sure who, but it's I tried to look it up online, and those were the names that I could find. I apologize if that's not his name, but he does such a good job as the thug. I wanted to mention him. So, and right here, dude. Now right here. That right there. That's why we're watching this movie, ladies and gentlemen. That scene right there is why, for me, 5-star movie completely. Couple of things, like number one, it shows you right away that this character, shows you right away that this character Vincent is the real deal. Like you see that he threw Ramon out the window there and that was an accident. And then you don't really see him kill Sylvester Clark, but he's dead now. He dead. And just that 5 shots in like less than 1.5 seconds. It was like whoa, 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 whoa. It was just one of the most flawless scenes of a hitman doing his fucking job like a champ. And for me, that makes this movie stand out extra. And if my kids are watching, never kill anybody. It's not worth it. If you feel like you're going to hurt somebody or whatever, you can move. You can do whatever, like move, get out of the same city if you're going to hurt somebody in the city you're in, whatever, stuff like that. You don't need to become a hitman. You work hard and take care of yourselves. This hitman stuff is for the movies. If you're thinking about becoming a hitman, become a filmmaker. Make a movie about a hitman instead. But never actually hurt anybody in real life. If you're my kids and watching this, don't do that. And that right there, is Mr. Peter Berg. This is at least the second Peter Berg affiliated movie that I watched in my Antisocial Commentary podcast episodes. The last movie that Peter Berg was in that I watched for my episodes was Smokin' Aces, directed by Joe Carnahan. So good. But yeah, I love Peter Berg. He's really good actor. Looks a little bit like Tosh.0. I mean Daniel Tosh. Just another solid comedian, Daniel Tosh. And when I say another, I mean Jamie Foxx in this movie. Started as a comedian. Now, there's so many damn cops in this movie. I can't get all their names right. I can't remember if that's David Mersault, that cop there. But there's another cop in this movie who does a really good job. I'll point him out later, but I don't know his name, and that bugs me because I tried looking for it and I couldn't find it. But yeah, Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo. Oh wait, before we move on from Peter Berg, I would just like to say like Corky Romano in what you call it. In Corky Romano, Peter Berg is pretty funny. He acts with Chris Kattan and Sean Penn's brother, Chris Penn, and I can't remember the old school mafioso's name in Corky Romano, but I find that movie pretty funny. You know, it's just like a 3 to 4 star kind of movie, but it's pretty funny. Peter Berg's in that too. That dude playing the trumpet, like he's not actually playing the trumpet, but he has a bunch of friends, like a bunch of musician friends, and he actually asked his musician friend how to move his fingers during playing this Miles Davis song. I believe it's Miles Davis. And the dude right there, that is Barry Shabaka Henley. And I've seen him in Rush Hour when he was talking to Chris Tucker, another great comedian there. He was talking to Chris Tucker in Rush Hour where they're talking about splitting weed. This was back in the day when weed was still illegal. And I remember when Barry Shabaka Henley was like, I was splitting it with you in Rush Hour with Chris Tucker. So good. Go rewatch that movie and you'll see Barry Shabaka Henley. What else? He was in Four Brothers. You know, he's one of those characters that, oh, is that guy? And he was in The Terminal with Tom Hanks. And Patch Adams with Robin Williams. Whoa. Robin Williams. Yeah, man. It's a bunch of solid actors in this movie as well. Now, Miles Davis. Now, Miles Davis is like just a little bit better than Canada's best jazz musician. Like in in the USA, their greatest jazz musician is like Miles Davis, right? And he's actually like 1.6 times better than our Canadian jazz musician, our best Canadian jazz musician, Kilometers Davis. Okay, that's a terrible joke. I apologize. Yeah, as you can tell, like Shabaka there, just solid veteran actor. Now, I love how in this scene, right now, Max is having a good time. For a moment, there, it looks like the way Max is enjoying himself there, like the way Vincent's playing this gentleman here whose name is Daniel Baker, the musician. Like the character's name is Daniel Baker. the way Vincent plays Daniel, he also plays Max here too, because he takes that stress off of Max's shoulders. Until now. Then it immediately switches, right, where it's like, oh yeah, he's a killer. But there's a moment where it looked like Max forgot how much of a killer Vincent really is. I love the hopelessness. That hopelessness that the musician Daniel Baker, the character, like that hopelessness he conveys speaking to the hitman. Now, the character Vincent is educated. Now, the character, like the way Vincent comes off learned in music, that's part of Michael Mann's biography that he gave Tom Cruise, as far as like notes for the character Vincent. And excuse me, I just want to point out I love this part where he beats Max up a bit here and says Max is his Collateral. Title of the movie, right? So good. Like Michael Mann said, that question where if he got the answer right, would you have let him go? Like how Michael Mann wanted that to be unanswered. Like an unanswered question that that Vincent is such a professional that there's no way that Daniel Baker was going to get out of that. Let's go ahead and cross him off the list here. But yeah, there's like everything about that scene is just solid, man. Like Vincent's background in music because of his father having dabbled in music and stuff like that. Like I thought that was cool, but the educational what am I trying to say here? The way that Vincent showed that he was educated reminded me, as like, it's not a nod to this at all, but I'm just putting it together in my mind. That's what it feels like. It reminded me of the education of Hans Gruber in Die Hard. And I always respect when a character has that educational background kind of thing. And there's just something about Vincent that is made cooler with that whole I know my stuff when it comes to music. And also when he tells Max she carried you in her womb for 9 months, it shows that maybe Vincent is a little bit of a mama's boy, just a little bit somewhere down the line within his life. And then there's something so creepy about the hitman sharing a brief moment with the undercover in the elevator here. Yeah, there's something so spooky about that, and like I'm assuming you've seen this before. So it's just something so spooky about like what happens to his character later, and that meeting of Vincent and Detective Fanning there. Just how it's there's not foreshadowing, but Fanning going to the morgue or whatever after his first encounter with Vincent, there's something that I'm looking into that makes it feel like a foreshadow. And that sweet old lady there. I know her first name is Irma. I got it written down here. Irma P. Hall. That sweet old lady has like over 100 acting credits. She's. Did I write her birth date down? No, not really. But I think it was like 1936 or 1934 or something like that. Like she's up there, and she's still alive today. I hope she's doing well wherever she is. But my favorite Irma P. Hall roles are Bad Company with Chris Rock, Backdraft with Russell Crowe and like Russell Crowe, the other Russell, Kurt Russell, with Kurt Russell in Backdraft. Sorry. Speaking of Russell Crowe was actually up for the role of Vincent there, but he had a movie to make. I think it's Eucalyptus with Nicole Kidman that didn't really land. But that Irma there, she's a Gemini. I know that. And my favorite role of Irma P. Hall is the movie Nothing to Lose. In the movie Nothing to Lose, she plays the mother. She plays the mother of another comedian. She plays the mother of Martin Lawrence in Nothing to Lose. So good. Such a good movie. In the movie Nothing to Lose, yeah, she plays the mother, and Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence in Nothing to Lose, they're hilarious. Hilarious. I'm going to do Nothing to Lose on this podcast one day because it's that much of a good movie. But yeah, that Irma P. Irma P. Hall did such a really good job in Nothing to Lose, and she did such a really good job right there as Mrs. DeRocher. And the only reason that that Vincent knows Mrs. DeRocher, knows that her last name is because he read Max's taxi cab license just so that he could, kind of do that and all that. So it's like, it's pretty sweet, right? Like there's something classy about a Michael Mann hitman. And Michael Mann is just such a good director, dude. Very realistic. And old school like that. Except for, I think, there's like a scene with like the subways or whatever where they use green screen. Other than that, though, like Michael Mann is usually one of those, I want it real. I want it on camera. I want it real. One of those kind of directors. Something to respect for sure. Old school. I am actually pretty excited for Heat 2. Like, just to see what happens with Heat 2. Speaking of Heat 2, Heat 2 has Leonardo DiCaprio in it. And there's even talk of Leonardo DiCaprio playing Vincent. I could see it. I could see it. I love this little scene, though. How it's the coroner's forensic analysis that they were killed by the same hitman who knows what they're doing. And right there, that's I don't know if it was a goof, but the person playing Sylvester Clark laying on the table there, playing the corpse. I don't know if it's a goof, but he had his eyes closed, and then when the pathologist removed the when the pathologist removed the cover from the corpse, the cadaver there, he opened his eyes. I don't know if that was a goof. It had to have been a goof, but still really cool of the pathologist to play such a crucial role in Detective Fanning's story in this plot that is thickening. And speaking of this plot that is thickening, there's a certain love for the story that Michael Mann has that's based on the fact that this feels like an entire third act of a movie. Like Michael Mann explained this script that Stuart Beattie wrote as feeling like the whole story is the third act of a movie. And that's what appealed to him, that this all takes place in like 10 to 12 hours in LA. And if I read this correctly, that part where I think that's another part that I loved about this character, Vincent, is that he had a father that was hard on him. Vincent's twisted sense of humor there. Yeah, I apologize for going off topic there. I had a topic and then I was transported by the talk of fathers. I love my dad. I love my dad with all my heart. But like all fathers care for their sons, and there's this natural order of fathers being hard on their sons compared to fathers being hard on their daughters. Usually they're harder on sons. There's that whole thing. And I like that character arc of Vincent there. And Vincent said that his father was abusive and that he died from like drinking or liver disease or something like that. And in real life, Tom Cruise's father was abusive and died of cancer. But yeah, like fathers love us. Sometimes they don't know how to show it, but fathers, just respect to every good father out there. My respect. Now there was some talk that they wanted to give the role of Max to Robert De Niro as a homage to the Martin Scorsese movie, that Taxi Driver movie there. I think that would have been pretty cool, like if Robert De Niro did the Max role, like they like film folklore says. And there was also talks about Al Pacino playing Vincent, and that would have been a twisted treat, right? Like if Pacino and De Niro were in this scene right now instead of Cruise and Foxx. Like, first of all, the movie the way it is, perfect. I love this movie. 5-star movie. But it does feel like it would be fun, right? Like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro having this back and forth. Let's see a couple other facts about Vincent. Let's see. Oh yeah, Tom Cruise was the villain in Interview with the Vampire with Brad Pitt and Kirsten Dunst, and like Interview with the Vampire was awesome, dude. For real. I liked it. Like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt came off a bit fruity in that movie, but it worked. It worked. It totally worked. I liked that movie. It was a good one. And that gentleman in the back there reading the newspaper, we'll get back to him in a bit here. I'll bring him up in a bit here. I like this scene a lot because of the way Jamie Foxx, the way he is right now, talking to the security guard all timid like and all that stuff. They're like, just the way this scene goes, keep that in mind in a second, how like timid he was, right? Like, just keep that in mind there. And here we have all of the cops and the feds. But yeah, right there, that's Bruce McGill. Originally, or like another person that was considered for the role that Bruce McGill is playing. Pedrosa. Originally, Frank Pedrosa was going to be Dennis Farina, which I could totally see it too. Yeah, that right there, that attitude that the FBI agent Pedrosa has, that is total Farina. You know, I mean, it almost feels like the character was written for him, but but Bruce McGill is such a good actor that he pulls it off very well. Let's talk about Bruce McGill for a second. Bruce McGill worked together with Jamie Foxx in the movie Law Abiding Citizen. I think he was the pre-trial judge in My Cousin Vinny, if I'm not mistaken, and then the trial judge was a sometimes dead is better guy from Pet Sematary there. Bruce McGill was in Ride Along with Kevin Hart, another good comedian. He was in Runaway Jury with the late great Gene Hackman and the alive and still great John Cusack. He was in Ali, which was also directed by Michael Mann, and he was in Cliffhanger with Rocky there, Sylvester Stallone, and what the fuck's his name there? John Lithgow is so cool in Cliffhanger. He's like the way Clarence Boddicker is in RoboCop. That's how John Lithgow is in Cliffhanger. Just ruthless, dude, ruthless. But yeah, that Bruce McGill, he's a legend, man. He's been in like everything. He's in an episode of CSI. Saw him in that. He was in an episode of Home Improvement. And Javier Bardem is right there. That's Javier Bardem. Obviously, you have to know who he is. But when he says, "I thought you'd be taller," to Jamie Foxx, in real life, Jamie Foxx is only 5'9", but Tom Cruise is 5'7", so it's just kind of funny. I was like, I thought she'd be taller, and then the actual hitman is actually shorter than Jamie Foxx. Now that gentleman playing I can't remember his name right now, but Javier Bardem playing Felix. He only had 2 days of work on this movie. But this is around the time when Javier Bardem was trying to make a play into English Hollywood. So he spent months learning English so that he could perfect this role as Felix. And the way the greatest role for like villain of all time is Javier Bardem as Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. I just want to point out that for someone like Tom Cruise, this is his Anton Chigurh for me. The way Javier Bardem played that Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men, this Vincent that Tom Cruise plays, that is his Anton Chigurh in my mind. He's such a good storyteller, dude. His character in No Country for Old Men, though, just perfect acting. I saw the movie The Little Mermaid, I think it was, and Javier Bardem played Ariel's father. And I just thought he played a really good father in that role. Loving and caring and strict, tough love, all that stuff. Such a good actor, dude. But yeah, the way he enters the building all timid, then he has to reach deep to appear to be the hitman that Vincent is. The way Max finally starts taking control. The way Max is finally starting to take control. There's that whole yin and yang of, if Max is representing good and Tom Cruise is evil, like that yin and yang of how both make each other a better, prolific version of good or evil. It's an old school writer's trick. Like as old as time, tale as old as time kind of thing. But when it's really well done, like this, Vincent and Max playing off each other, becoming better versions of themselves because of their meeting, just in one night. Like it works on so many levels. And there was a time when I wanted to dye my hair gray like Tom Cruise or Timothy Olyphant or Johnny Knoxville, and I couldn't get it right. So I ended up shaving it all off, and now I have like the frosted tips, which looks interesting. I don't mind it. I feel good looking. And that little shot in the arm he gives Vincent by cutting his fee a little bit. And that dude who was walking out Max there, like that dude who was walking him out, that dude was one of the brothers, one of the Salamanca cousins in Breaking Bad. And everybody knows I love Breaking Bad. Fucking love Breaking Bad. I was watching that episode of Breaking Bad the other day where Jesse goes to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. And he's like, "You're nothing but customers to me." So I love that. I just wish I can get that impression down. But yeah, dude, that scene though, just to see Max grow a pair. I love that. Excuse me. And again, I love the way that the character Vincent kind of stays in the shadows of the cab because he knows that the club is under surveillance. It's really cool. Oh, and speaking of the addresses in this movie, like a cool thing about Michael Mann is like a lot of the addresses in this movie are the real addresses in Los Angeles. Very cool. And that's why Bruce McGill is one of those guys, man. Like just a pro. Say your lines. That's the utmost important thing. I learned that from Seth Green in a podcast he had with it was either Bill Maher or Bobby Lee, and Seth Green said, "Just say your lines. That's what they want from you. Say your lines. Get out of there." Well, Bruce McGill brings that. I'll say my lines. I'll do my job. He brings that to the table. And you got to respect an actor like Bruce McGill for doing that. Speaking of cab drivers, like I said, I've been a cab driver before, and this movie is the most authentic experience for what it's like to be a cab driver. I wish. Again, right there, the choices we make can alter our destiny right there. Detective Fanning could have went home right then and there. Man, that would have been the end of his story, but because Stuart Beattie is a good writer and Michael Mann revised the script, even though, like, I thought I heard the original script was supposed to be, I thought I heard the original script was supposed to be the mafia in New York. And then I thought I heard that Michael Mann revised the script over and over again after, like, people like Frank Darabont got their hands on it and stuff like that. But Michael Mann, like, rewrote it so that it, or helped rewrite it with Stuart Beattie or whatever it was there. And he made it in L.A. instead of New York. And just overall, though, like, you know, California made. That's what I love about this movie. And like the realism of the gun handling in this movie, like I mentioned, like the gun handling earlier when Tom Cruise shoots those two thugs. My favorite scene when Tom Cruise shoots those two thugs with 5 bullets in like less than 1.5 seconds. They show that in gun training classes, just like from the movie Heat. They show Val Kilmer reloading the AK-47 or whatever it was in Heat. I can't remember at this moment. But like they show those 2 Michael Mann clips at least in real gun training classes. And I love that. That's awesome. Like I've only got lucky enough to fire a rifle a couple of times. Only got lucky enough to fire a handgun once or twice. And yeah, man, just the recoil. That's all you got to do is watch out for the recoil. And you know what I mean? Like because of the recoil of the shotgun, like don't put anything vulnerable where the recoil is going to go. Like you see so many people use a rifle and they put their eye on the lens and then the lens smacks them in the fucking eye. Like just be careful with stuff like that. Speaking of being careful, couple of metaphors here. First of all, in the Navajo culture, part of where I'm from, in our culture, there is an old saying that if a wolf or a coyote walks in front of you, if the wolf or a coyote like is in your path, turn back, go the other way. It's like an omen for the Navajo and my people. And I think the metaphor, I mean, the metaphor using the Navajo thing, that's very cool. But also, there's another metaphor, the way that Vincent is all grayed up, like a bunch of gray, wearing a gray suit, all that stuff there. The way that Vincent is wearing a gray suit and all that stuff there, in my eyes, it's like Vincent is the wolf, or like, you know, the coyote in that instance. Such a good Audio Slave song. I can't remember. I think it's Shadows of the Sun or something like that. I think you just said the title there, but I would just like to say rest in peace, Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell was such a talent, dude. Like I love singing Like a Stone at karaoke. You know, like, and a sad story about the Chris Cornell thing, like Chris Cornell hung himself. Yes, that was very sad, devastating. The whole rock and roll world was devastated. But then after Chris Cornell did that, Linkin Park, because Chester Bennington loved Chris Cornell like a brother, he wrote the song One More Light. And they do such a good performance of the song One More Light on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Go look for that performance right now. One More Light, Linkin Park. Chester Bennington wrote that because he loved Chris Cornell like a brother. And then after all that, Chester Bennington followed Chris Cornell in the same way. And the devastating part of that is, without Chris Cornell choosing to leave us the way he did, Chester probably wouldn't have chose the same way. And I just wanted to say, thank you to Chris Cornell and thank you to Chester Bennington for all of the wonderful music they brought us in this world. I grew up listening to Linkin Park, and Blake Hammond, the comedian Blake Hammond, makes such a good Linkin Park joke. I won't ruin it, but go look up Blake Hammond. I think his special is called Blake 182, like Blink 182. Go check out Blake Hammond, Blake 182, and you'll hear a really good Linkin Park joke. I won't ruin it for you. Go check it out. But yeah, rest in peace, Chris Cornell, and rest in peace, Chester Bennington. Now, this club here is Club Fever in the movie, but, excuse me. In the movie, it's Club Fever, but the exterior shots are actually of this club called Bliss in LA or something like that. And the reason they did the interior shots in a studio is pretty simple. It's like a liability thing, legal and all that stuff. For all of the extras, it's safer to do a scene with all of the extras on a studio where everyone is more likely to behave with more professionalism, knowing that they're in a studio. As opposed to if you take like 100 extras to a real life nightclub, anything could happen. Somebody can get hurt, whatever. Yeah, it's a pretty good song. Tried to look it up, but I can't remember what the fucking song is. Let's look it up. Try not to use the phone while I do this, but in the Club Fever, in the movie Collateral, what song do they use? Ready, Steady, Go by Paul Oakenfold, the Korean style mix. I might have to listen to that song later just to see what it's like, the non-Korean style mix. Sorry, my buddy Bruce McGill shot in what looks like the artery of the left leg there. If it's the artery, in real life you would bleed out pretty damn quickly if it's the artery. To quote Ron Livingston in the series Band of Brothers, once you hit that artery, that's it. The human body is really amazing like that, though. I love that look that Tom Cruise gives Max there. It's almost like a giving you shit look. Like, how dare you put yourself in harm's way when I'm trying to do my job. My job is to be here in this club right now and cap a motherfucker, and you're going to get in the way of that? And right there, man, Max is safe. Detective Fanning has him. Everything's going to be all right. That's a really sweet folding knife. I can't remember what it's called. I thought I wrote it down. Oh, it's a Reeve Sabenza knife. A Reeve Sabenza knife. Kind of want one. My favorite are like Smith & Wesson boot knives. Those are fucking awesome knives. They're pretty, they're not as big as like the big Bowie knife or whatever, like Rambo style. But those Smith & Wesson boot knives, like they're fucking awesome. And there we have number 4 on our list. Peter Lim is crossed off. Now here we have Mark Ruffalo is going to save. Oh no! I was going to say Mark Ruffalo is going to save Jamie Foxx's character, and then pow. Now that part right there, a part of me thinks Vincent maybe thought it was somebody taking I can't remember if it's that part. It might be that part where like Tom Cruise hits his head and gets a gash on his forehead because Jamie Foxx crashes into the vehicle or whatever. But yeah, like just the way that part worked out there, like it looked like Vincent might have thought that Max was being taken against his will, and at the same time, though, even if he wasn't being taken against his will, he still would have killed Detective Fanning. But it's still like one of those things where it's kind of like what was going on in their minds. And there's that cause and effect thing where Peter Berg's character went home, and then Detective Fanning decided to stay out and go to the club. And now he's dead. This scene's so powerful, dude. Because right here, like Max discovers to take the cover off. Discovers that there is no dealing or bartering with this cold-blooded killer. And like that like anxiety kind of uncertainty that he plays there. Like there's a certain kind of hopelessness in both of the characters here that is revealing. That who notices part's so fucking powerful. And the way the music cuts in there. Just this fucking so good. Like that disdain, that look of disgust that Vincent has is mixed with like Max calling him on his shit. Like Max is calling it like he sees it now. So like just the way and just the way that Vincent brushes him off, but then calls him right back out on his shit, like that back and forth. That pessimism. Like based on a hopelessness in Vincent's view of the world. Like it's just, oh man, it's so good. Like everybody watching this can kind of relate with why didn't I follow my dreams yet kind of thing that Vincent like inflicts psychologically towards Max after Max calls Vincent out on his shit, and that kind of opens up Vincent because there's a certain vulnerability that was driven by Max calling Vincent out on his shit. Like it's just like character developments all in this one, like the strongest back and forth between our characters is this scene. Now pay attention to the way the music is right now. Like right now we've got some more Chris Cornell happening and all that. And right there, like after Max calls Vincent on his shit, you see like that selfishness come out of Vincent there. Where like all he knows is violence, so he holds the gun against his head saying slow down, right? Like I just, oh man, it's so fucking good. And that fucking stunt is so fucking well done, dude. But yeah, that scene, dude, that scene is like the most heated back and forth that Vincent and Max are in the entire film. And it's still going on. So when he starts hitting at him, just a little, it's almost comical because it's like little taps, but then you're thrust right back into the seriousness of the situation, that this is a gentleman doing his job, and he's being like held hostage by a killer. And right here, another butterfly effect coming up. Now I don't know, like I wrote down a name for this guy. I don't know if it, I wrote down David Mersault, but I think that might have been the other cop before. This cop right here, though, this guy playing the cop right here, I love his performance in this, just because like it's so realistic, like the way authorities handle accident and incident, collision, like victims or whatever. Like, sir, you have been in a car accident. Like, the way he plays that, and then the way he plays the like, oh shit, there's a dead body in the back of this cab driver's vehicle. Like I like this cop's acting though. Solid. And then right here, butterfly effects. He could have just let that cop arrest him. said, hey, Vincent is out there. He's going to kill somebody. Try to find Vincent before he kills somebody. He could have told that cop that Vincent story, but because that cop was in the middle of arresting him, that cop would not have believed him. Stuff like that. He wouldn't have believed him until it was too late, till the next morning, till he could speak to a lawyer. So for Max to choose that he's going to save, he's going to save the lawyer, Annie Farrell, played by Jada Pinkett Smith, for Max to choose that. And then the music cues in right there. As soon as Max chooses to save that Annie, the lawyer chick, the music kicks in and it doesn't stop. Hear the music now? The music doesn't stop for the rest of the movie, and I love that. I love that so much. And this horror style music right now, is done by James Newton Howard. And originally they tried to get Hans Zimmer, and then James Newton Howard ended up taking it because Hans Zimmer had some other obligations or whatever. But the way the music is done in this movie, it's great, dude. Apparently James Newton Howard did like 2 hours worth of music for this movie. And then Michael Mann elected to use the last 20 minutes of the movie to be all of this James Newton Howard build. As very dynamic. Because now we switch to the drums and the light cymbals or whatever it is there. The old school phones. I think that phone that Jamie Foxx is handling right now, if I'm not mistaken, if I read correctly earlier, it's like a Motorola, like an old school Motorola, 2003 or something. Like those were the best phones they had back in the day. And if you're watching this in the future, those the way she's holding a phone right now that has a cord on it, we used to have a lot of those. See, isn't Jada really good here? She is a good actress. I don't agree with the Will Smith drama, that backstabbing thing she did to Will Smith or whatever. But she's an artist, and artists are unique. And just a shout out to the acting talent that Jada Pinkett Smith has. She gets a lot of that hatefulness because of that whole Chris Rock thing and a bunch of other things that she might have done that weren't exactly the nicest things to do to your own husband. But she is a really talented artist. And I'll always love the movie Set It Off, and I'll always love the movie Demon Knight. And you'll never be able to take Jada Smith out of those movies. So, respect to Jada Pinkett Smith for this wonderful role she plays as Annie in Collateral. And throughout the whole movie, you see Vincent is an unrelenting killing machine, and the way the music score turns into a horror film. I love that element. Yeah, if it wasn't for throwing the list, like he would have no idea why Vincent was hired to kill, who Vincent was hired by, and stuff like that. Just really good cause and effect by Stuart, Beattie, Michael Mann. And I think Michael Mann said something like, one of the hardest things to get people to act as is uncertainty. And the way Jamie Foxx plays it right there. And I know he's being directed by the genius of Michael Mann, but the way he plays this role, I know a lot of people would say that, Ray is Jamie Foxx's best work because that's where he won his Oscar. And I know a lot of people would be like, oh, Django is his best work. But for me, my friends, Collateral with Tom Cruise, that's Jamie Foxx's best work. And then after that, Any Given Sunday. Fucking love Any Given Sunday. Steamin' Willie Beeman. Right? Hell yeah. And in the movie Held Up, he's really funny in that one. But yeah, I'm going to plug it again. Go check out What Had Happened Was, which is the Jamie Foxx special on Netflix. Go and watch it right after this and hear why Jamie Foxx went into a coma for 20 days on April 11th, 2023. It's very uplifting. And I just want to say Jamie Foxx is a class act, and I'm glad that he's still alive today after he had that big stroke there. Like Martin had a stroke, right? And what did Martin say to Dave Chappelle there? I got the best sleep I ever had in my life. But yeah, that Jamie Foxx story is a little bit different there. So go check that out. You'll see what happened, or what had happened was. Jamie Foxx, 2024. Really good stand-up comedy special. Like that stand-up comedy special is so it's so like sentimental that it's almost hard to call it stand-up comedy special, but like it's like it's almost like a TED talk or something, but like what I mean, like it's hilarious, like, but at the same time, like the realism, the realistic nature in that special. As I can't plug it enough. Go check out Jamie Foxx. What Had Happened Was. All right, I'll stop talking about it. Let's move on here. But yeah, like the way the score, like it's almost like a horror film, like that hi-hat and the dun-dun-dun-dun. Like that part almost reminds me of Heat just a little bit. But there's something monster movie about this finale of this film that I love. It's very like Vincent becomes Jason Voorhees. Vincent becomes Michael Myers kind of thing, just the killer stalker with the dead eyes. And the expression of horror on Annie's face. And how he's just listening for any little thing that he can hear from her as she helplessly tries to crawl away. And then another horror element right there. The guy just got shot in the fucking head, basically. And he gets back up. And now he's angry, man. Like, and that that trip on the chair there that Tom Cruise just took there, that big spill where he slammed into the ground, like that was actually Tom Cruise slamming. Like Tony Hawk says, in skateboarding, when you plan your land, it's like it's called bailing. But then when you don't plan your land and you hit the ground really hard, it's called slamming. And right there, Tom Cruise just fucking slammed himself to the ground, just trying to climb over that chair. And it's such a beautiful shot because it's real. But honestly, that's what I love about a lot of Tom Cruise movies. I got some Tom Cruise movies here to mention before the end of the podcast here. These are just some of the movies that I love by Tom Cruise. We got all 8 Mission Impossible movies. I watched like 6 of those, like the final 6, on Christmas this year. Like I just stayed home watching Tom Cruise movies all day there on Christmas because he's Jesus. And we got to thank... No, I'm joking. Okay. No, but I watched like 6 of the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movies there. You have Top Gun 1 and 2. Those are pretty good. Edge of Tomorrow is my favorite. That's why I have his Edge of Tomorrow pick up there. I'm going to do that podcast one day. War of the Worlds, another one of my favorites. Last Samurai. Austin Powers, Goldmember. He played a really... Excuse me. He played a really funny cameo. Minority Report. I love Minority Report. Except, spoiler alert, when Tom Cruise goes blind there, it just feels like it slows everything down, but I still love Minority Report. Eyes Wide Shut was good. It might be my least favorite Stanley Kubrick movie, but it's still a really good Tom Cruise movie. Interview with the Vampire, played a really good villain there, like he's a villain in here. A Few Good Men, such a good lawyer in that one. Another good lawyer. He was good in The Firm as a lawyer as well. Days of Thunder with the late great Robert Duvall. That was such a good movie. Days of Thunder is probably my favorite racing movie, other than like Talladega Nights and Driven and F1 and Rush. There's so many good racing movies. Color of Money. I used to love playing pool. I used to love it. Color of Money is so fucking good with their Paul Newman. Yeah. Oh yeah, Paul. Oh no, the corn. Paul Newman's gonna have my legs broke. Like from The Simpsons. Outsiders. Let's do it for Johnny. Yeah, man. It's good shit. Did I get that one right? Is it The Outsiders, Let's Do It for Johnny, or is it Rumblefish? I am tired, folks. I'll think of it later. It's got to be The Outsiders. Okay, now I pissed myself off because I don't remember. Let's Do It for Johnny. Yes, it is The Outsiders. Outsiders. Thank God I got that right the first time. I don't know why I thought it was Rumblefish. It was either one or the other. I think it's because both of them have that like old school greaser vibe, you know? But yeah, that score that started, like it's still ongoing and it's growing more and more intense. Love that how they're both out of bullets. All the one big fiery explosion of gunfire at one another. And then the way Tom Cruise plays Vincent here, by slow playing what happened. Like, this part is magic. The magic is giving humanity to this cold-blooded killer. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's the quote right there. Fucking perfect. Perfect. One tear. Wait. 2 tears. 2 tears. For the genius that is Tom Cruise as Vincent. You know, I take it back what I said about The Edge of Tomorrow there. Collateral is Tom Cruise's best work. Definitely. And like, just how this all happened in one night. In one night, a little piece of Vincent rubs off on Max. And just enough of Max rubs off on Vincent. Just enough that he hesitates before possibly killing Annie Farrell, who got away. Damn it. She got away. We almost did it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We almost killed all 5. But yeah, like that little bit of humanity that rubbed off on Vincent that he got from Max, in a way that's what saved the life at the beginning of the movie that Vincent was there to, like, it just, you know, Vincent was there to kill Annie at the beginning of the movie. And that's what I love, that he rotates her to the back, and that cause and effect situation where like he gets in the cab after the cab driver just dealt with her, and like, you know, like, it's just such a well-written movie. Again, I would just want to give a shout out to the wonderful writing done by Stuart Beattie, and then like the way that Michael Mann revised the script and redid the script with, you know, all that stuff, like in LA. Everything worked out perfectly for that. Let's see if I forgot anything here. Jamie Foxx movies, Vincent. Yeah, originally, Vincent was supposed to be Jamie Foxx, and then Max was supposed to be Vincent, is what I heard. I don't know how true that one really is, but that would have been interesting to see the roles reversed, right? Tom Cruise, the cab driver, but they definitely it worked out perfectly the way they did it here. And Vincent is the name that Tom Cruise's character had in the movie Color of Money. That's kind of fun. What else here? Oh yeah, Max, played by Jamie Foxx. His name is also Max in the movie Spider-Man 2 and in No Way Out when he does the electricity dude. I can't remember his villain's name right now at the moment there, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, another fun fact about Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx here. They both dated Katie Holmes. I said they both dated Katie Holmes. But yeah, man. Collateral, 2004. Like after Heat, that's my favorite Michael Mann movie. And overall, that might actually be my favorite Tom Cruise movie of all time. And Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, I'm glad he's still alive and with us after, his coma and his, I think he was, literally dead for, a couple minutes or whatever. Wow, just the fact that he's still with us. I'm grateful for that because, I love movies. And this movie, Collateral, directed by Michael Mann, written by Stuart Beattie, starring Tom Cruise, starring Jamie Foxx, starring Jada Pinkett Smith, starring Mark Ruffalo, Peter Berg, Javier Bardem. This movie made my life just a little bit better. Thank you. All right, that's it. That's it. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. That's my podcast, episode 21 of Antisocial Commentary. Collateral 2004, directed by Michael Mann. On my slate today is Tom Cruise's birthday, July 3rd, 1962. But, that's it for the episode today, everybody. Episode 21, Antisocial Commentary. Collateral, 2004. Cut. Cheers and thanks for watching.